Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Diabolical level 7 puzzle alert. I'm gonna tackle that, but first I gotta level up my brain. Level 5 should be challenging. We either got an elbow macaroni, small zag, or M piece, huh? Well, that's gonna be tricky. Is there a location that can only be one piece? Well, actually, I think we can look at this hallway. No matter what shape it is, you actually can't have both of these be in the same shape. So they have to be separated. And the same goes with this hallway. Now, this could still be any of the 3 shapes. This could be, okay, either an elbow macaroni or an S piece. So at least it's not an M. I guess I can also mark this as a wall. I guess that's the other thing too. Like I can mark that as a wall. Maybe that helps. Same with this. And I can do the same over here. Like we know it has to bend out like this, but we don't know if it's going to go any further or not. Same with up here. Mark these off. And maybe we have something interesting going on down below. How are we getting this piece? I'm pretty sure it has to be an elbow macaroni like this. Anything else would leave one piece behind, right? You know, even if it's an S piece, we got a piece left behind. So I think it has to be elbow macaroni like that. Okay, so I'll have red be my elbow macaroni. I have no idea about the possibilities of the other shapes yet. I guess we could do something in the upper corner as well, where it's like, we have no choice. Probably has to be an elbow macaroni like this. Because just imagine the other possibilities. This creates an awkward shape here, which is impossible. This leaves one behind. This leaves one behind. So it's got to be like this, which means we have our second color. The S piece could be yellow. I can have like blue be my, I don't know what the hell it is kind of color. Right, we know it has to start off like this. Then how is it going to continue? Here's something interesting about this corner. Imagine if this goes up. It can't go any further, so it'd have to be an S piece. This can't be any piece then without leaving an island of 1. Or a long hallway, which is impossible. That means this must be an elbow macaroni. Now, I'm pretty sure the only way I can fill in the last bit with an elbow macaroni here, and then our first M piece here, making this elbow macaroni. And anything else just leaves behind 1. Right, similar story here. We have an elbow macaroni. Otherwise, no matter what, there's going to be like either a long hallway or 1 left behind. You name it. It's just one of those 2 same downfalls again and again. So elbow macaroni. This has to be an elbow macaroni just by direction. Then whatever the hell this is, it's coming down. Don't know how far yet. I do see we have a long hallway here, which has to be plugged in at least this far. It doesn't have to be an M piece yet. We got a piece coming out here, which is going to block this in as an elbow macaroni. And I think actually the rest should fall. If this is a 5 piece, this would be a 4 piece, and the last would be a 5 piece. And we're just getting started. Let's take it up to 6. The rules are simple. How is this hard? Well, okay, 2x2 or 3x3. That's interesting when there's a 3 long section. When the section is 3 wide, it has to be, like you can't squeeze multiple 2x2s in there. The issue is we just don't know if it goes down or up. Because we could easily just have some 2x2s here, and then a 3x3 up here. That's perfectly fine. Or the other way around, a 3x3 and then a separate 3x3. Both are okay. But we do know both of these have to be 3 tall. Same with this. This has to be 3 tall. But then we do know that these over here have to be 2 tall. We just don't know which way. This has to be 2 tall. This has to be 2 tall. We have another 2 and 2 tall, kind of like this. Can I do anything with the 5 tall? I mean, because it's either going to be 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. I don't know which. We can also think about this edge, which is 5 tall. I think it actually can't be 2 then 3. I think it has to be the other way around. And the reason being, we'd have to think about this. This 2 high can't go down because it leaves a 1 high. You can't ever have a 1 high. But it can't go up because then we have a quarter of 1. So the whole problem stems with the left edge. That means it has to be a 3x3 and then a 2x2. And actually, we can force a 2x2 here. You can't have a 1 long, so that's got to be a 2x2 here. 2x2 here is forced. This actually has to be a 2x2, which means these are together. 2x2 with these together. 2x2 and a 2x2 down here, which now means we can merge this into a 3x3. Now we're cooking. Next thing I want to cook with is, again, probably a 5 high. We want to find the smallest gaps. Well, so if this were the 3x3, we would have an alley of 1. So the 3x3 must be on top and a 2x2 on the bottom. Now we do have a 3 high, which forces a 3x3 here. And we do have a 2 high here. We We have a 3 high here. That works out actually pretty good so far. Another 3 high. We can continue that. Okay, 2 wide here. 3 wide. Coming on in, 2 wide. And I feel like because we get the tricks now, we're rewarded with the puzzle kind of just falling apart. Those tricks were not easy to discern. But it's satisfying now that it's done. Oh, and we got a golden border. We're going for more. Well, you've seen 6. Now how about 7? Here we go. And actually, this is fewer squares than I expected for a 7 difficulty puzzle. Oh no. It can only be an L or a T piece. And all I have right now is that these are going to be part of an L piece. We just don't know which way. Oh no. How are you supposed to make any progress in this? I guess like these corners have to be part of an L piece. I think both of these have to be part of an L piece, but technically we actually don't know if it's the same L piece. No, wait, no, we do know it has to be part of the same L piece. Yeah, because otherwise you couldn't have a long piece. So same goes, I guess, for this corner, L piece, and this must be an L piece, which I believe could go like this. So only this is required to be part of the same L piece. This also needs to be an L piece, but it could be a different L piece. Right, because we can have L here, everything works fine. Okay, where else? Wow. Where would I even look next? I guess a very simple one is, can this really be an L piece? Because that's the only L piece that this square could originate from. The only one. And then we have like this weird S bend here. No matter how you swing it, there's gonna be an impossible shape. Can't have a long 4 in a row piece. Can't have an S piece. It just doesn't work. I think we can determine that this will be part of a T piece, then so will this. It's just which way is the T gonna go? Well, I'm pretty sure it has to go up, because imagine if it didn't go up, you would have another situation where, yeah, sure, you have an L piece, but then what? Oh, then you have another L piece. Wait, that's fine. Well, I guess it could go in any direction then, right? Because if it went up, then you could have L piece and L piece again. So, anywhere else? Well, I guess technically the area over here, somehow these need to be part of an L piece. We just don't know which one, because it could be like L piece here, new L piece, and L piece, or it could be L piece here, then L piece. All we know is that it's L. Maybe I'll mark that as like a purple or something. The other problem with like trying to work on this puzzle is like, let's say we try to go down a line. Let's say I decide this is part of a T piece. The consequences from that are surprisingly non-conclusive. I guess it means this has to go down. And I guess these would have to come in, but none of these are a problem. So I would just do this, bring this up that far, L piece, L piece. Well, I guess we do have a problem. These 2 squares are wrong. Was that the only possible way to continue? I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. For a puzzle like this, you have to just look really far down the line and be like, all right, there's nothing that can be done there. Therefore, and go back, and this will be part of an L piece. Which way? Well, maybe I could go down the line on that one. Let's say it goes left. This would go this way. Then we have an L piece here, L piece here. Everything seems fine with that. We do have another L piece here, L piece here. T piece continues. And then I guess this would be a T piece. Everything's fine still. L piece coming up. Draw a line here. This would have to be part of an L piece. At the very least goes here. Couldn't go up any further because then we couldn't have a long piece. So we would need a T piece. I still don't see any contradictions. Maybe that was just the correct way. Right, where it keeps going here. Got another L piece. So far, so good. I mean, when the going gets good, you keep going. All right, this has to be part of an L piece. Technically don't know which way it goes. I think I'm ready to just solve the puzzle. I think that was the one move that just had it fall apart. Now, was there a cleaner way that didn't involve taking a guess? I have no fucking idea, but that was like the fastest way I could possibly get to a solution. Let it be known though, I spent a lot of time looking for a spot that at least like could converge easily and that we could relatively quickly find out if it's wrong. The rest of the spots didn't seem to have that. Jeez. Oh, let's do a big 5. Precision 5, rose windows, and of course, difficulty 5. This is probably going to be a very satisfying solve. It's huge. So much logic has to go into it. Right now, the best thing I can just do is separate the same shapes, which there is actually quite a bit of that. And with these markings, out of the way, I feel ready to try and take it on. Let's start with, I don't know, one of these coming out. Okay, the region must be exactly 5. I feel like that's pretty important. Actually, I don't like that blue coming out. Maybe this triangle coming out could instead be blocked off here. I don't know. How about these triangles are actually pretty interesting, because I have a hard time actually getting to blues, right? Because there's no blue if you go down here, and this gets cut off by another triangle. So I imagine these two have to merge, and this one has to go up. If that's the case, I can block that off. And if I were to get a region of 5, I suppose I could do this and that. Other options would be to go here. No, because that's going to actually cut off this piece. This piece needs to go and find a blue now, and it's not going to be able to merge here. 2 yellows, so it's going to have to escape. I guess I can block that off, and I guess I can get the blue here. That pretty much has to be done. So that means the only way this shape is getting the red is like that. And then this shape needs a circle and size 5. And now we can have this come out. We got to grab triangle, square, size 5. Bring this out. Can't be either of these shapes, so I guess it can be a little M piece here. All right, this has to come out. Well, the only blue is going to hit is this. Now, which circle will it hit? Technically, we don't know. We should probably figure out very shortly, though, when this piece comes out. The only way it hits the blue is here. So draw those lines. Then it looks like to me this will have to go up here. This will come around, and this will grab that. So bottom's done. Coming up, we do have a forced triangle and square together, which is also going to have to reach that circle. No other circle can be considered. Technically, I could do this as a shape, but we kind of have to think about this square. The square will come out, then be blocked off. I do think it has to go and get this circle. And I guess it needs a triangle, so it is going to do that. So this is, in fact, the correct shape. Square comes out, has to grab this circle, because this circle is going to come up. This does have to come up at least once, but no further. So that's going to be a shape of 5. 1, 2, 3. It could go one of 2 ways. Both directions are equally valid. However, we look at this circle. It certainly can't go any further this way, so it's going to have to grab this triangle, which tells me this will at least bend this way. And I guess it actually has to grab this square, but then which empty spaces? At least here. How much further? I don't know. This square is going to have to meet up with this triangle. And yeah, pretty much almost guaranteed this circle. Just the path in which it gets there, I don't exactly know. Could be like a N piece, or like a P, or something like this. But it's definitely those 3 shapes together. Right, I guess start in the upper right then at least. Complete some shapes here and see if I can get some easy cascades. Yeah, I'll tell you what, actually, these are pretty easy, in fact. And maybe I should have started here sooner, because that falls into place, and the rest falls into place just like that. Big 5. And we are 1 puzzle away from a gold border. So, which of these beauties wants to be solved? I say the one hiding in the tower. You are mine. Oh God, you're big. I'm sorry, this looks ridiculous. Rose windows with a Gemini? I guess the idea of the puzzle is that each of these rose windows are going to link up with a nearby shape, and you know, the shapes will fill in the middle so that the remaining area is symmetrical for the 2 big shapes that start on the top. That's crazy. I think all these are gonna have to be together somehow. So I guess I have to think with diagonal symmetry. Yeah, let's have these be like very different colors. We'll do like a yellow here. That'll come out. And a blue, which is this far. Are they currently symmetrical, like with diagonal symmetry? Yes, they are. Now, I believe this must bend inwards to the dotted diagonal symmetry line, and then this would bend inwards in the same way. So the blue one is technically, I mean, okay, the blue and yellow, they are the same shape. So you have to think about how the other shapes can work to still work with them together. And I think the L has to be like this, And here's why. When the yellow goes down 1, it's at the edge of the L, and when the blue goes over 1, it's also at the edge of the L. So they can each continue out and bend around it if they wish. Technically, I don't know if they bend around it or not. They could, but we don't know if that's true yet. We could look at both of the corner shapes. They're at most 4 tall in one direction. Therefore, we do know these have to extend at least one further this way. And actually, I believe we can confirm these do in fact bend in, because no arrangement of the other shapes could possibly reach either of these spots. Nor do I think any arrangement could reach this spot. Yeah, because it's 5 away from the furthest part of any of the other shapes. And therefore, that means this would be the mirror of that. So I guess actually if we want to think about mirror images compared to the big shapes, this spot is the mirror image of this spot. So either both are part of the big shapes or neither are. Same with this spot being the mirror image of this spot. It's either both or neither. So because of that, you could not have the central shape do this, because you would have just one of the two actually for both the examples I listed. And furthermore, is there any arrangement of that shape that would actually work? Because that's not the right shape. That's not the right shape. In fact, yeah, no matter how you swing it, you can't bring this spot to this shape. It just doesn't reach. Therefore, it must be part of the big shape. Then these can bend in, fully hugging the L. Now we can actually draw borders here and here, right? Because the borders must also be mirrored. We then have this space as a mirror to this space, which could be part of the same shape together. It's just gonna violate some other issues. Or is it? Because actually, if I do this shape and then have the square fill in, all of these spaces are actually mirrored shapes. Yeah, all these spaces split the diagonal symmetry just fine. Let me show. This space is the mirror of this space, and it seems like it will descend in a diagonal fashion, right? Because we had this be the mirror of this. This is the mirror of this. The circle here is the mirror to the polynomial shape. This is the mirror of this, and the circle is the mirror to this square here. Then it would go out by 1 into this being the mirror of this. So if we add up all of those mirrors, we would then have the 2 shapes. That is perfectly valid. And then you can kind of start dragging this in, bring it all the way here, draw that border. And now it's just the side shapes. Okay, so what is the mirror of what as we go far out? Right now we have this little bend be the mirror of this bend. Oh, and because these are only 4 tall, you can actually fill both of these in, and then this, and just confirming these current shapes are in fact the same. Thank you, Gemini. Actually, given the current restraints, isn't this the only like valid shape remaining? Like, isn't that the only possible arrangement of the shape that actually even fits anymore? Then likewise, we would have this shape, if that's wrong. Wait, no, it would have to be more like this. There we go. Yeah, that works. Get him. A good one to end it on, because we got our gold mirror. I feel like that was somehow the trickiest. And we now have a new region, which is absolutely huge. There have been so many puzzles unlocked just now. We are about to dive into a ton of new mechanics. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day and peace.